Let's have a look at Campherskloof today, which is really worth it. And it's in the Outeniqua mountains as you go over to the Outeniqua side, or at least towards the Outeniqua side on the Outeniqua pass. You've got to turn off towards your right hand side, which leads you to a tower by the name of Sputnik. Exactly how the name came about, no idea, but it's a pretty obvious name when you look at the shape of it, and that is going to be our starting point. From there we shall be going a little bit further up, but definitely worth a start. Easy to get to, easy accessible, no off-roads, and easy to park at the spot. From your starting point, you've got a systematic climb. Stunning view right from the start already, looking down towards the Gorge side, and nevertheless towards the interior side, at least part of the interior side of the mountain. Nothing steep at the beginning, just a nice systematic climb. As you get closer and closer, there will be a sharp turn off towards the left hand side, which will lead you into some foresty area. Great mixture of forest and or light forest, and plenty of rocks, which will be worthwhile taking a couple of photos about. You'll see rocks of all sorts, millions of years old, all shapes and sizes, looking down towards farm terrain, which will be on your left hand side, and nevertheless nothing stops you from climbing up towards the right hand side, but we'll rather go as the path leads you. From there we go right up, systematic. You've got two ups and downs before your final up comes, and you shall go up towards the rift, where no doubt it will be the viewpoint of the entire path, where you can look towards the interior side and see the absolute contrast between the interior side, which is nevertheless a lot drier and virtually no trees, as opposed to the seaside and farm terrain, which is on the opposite side, and nothing stops you from climbing up a couple of rocks, take a couple of photos. Yes, I'm the king of the world when you're standing on top there, and you don't actually need to get onto the rocks to have an awesome view. It's just an extra, and it's probably in our nature to stand on some rocks, take a couple of photos, and all kinds of different shapes and sizes, and no doubt another little spot for some pics, where there is also a main peak towards the further hand side, which apparently has the actual path leading to it. I certainly didn't see it when I was busy walking it, but I want to stick to the main path, which is going to be leading us to the hut, which is our ultimate goal point. Looking towards the farmland on one side, and not too long, simply turn around and you're going to see the interior side on the opposite side. Hey buddy, we better climb that rock at a stage. I would hardly regard it as bouldering, but no doubt the younger generation might be able to climb it up. Even the older generation. And as you turn towards your left hand side, you're going to be looking at some of the interior side, which is still a little bit far to be able to see the hut. That'll only come in due course time, but no doubt this is where you can see the contrast between the one side, where there's absolutely no trees to speak of, and the opposite side that you've just come from, where there are plenty of pine trees in particular. Just looking at the rock formation, it's only a matter of time since I will be climbing it. Just have to see at some stage. From here we go down, it's all the way down until we're going to meet up with a little stream, and most of the time you won't find any water in the stream. You might be saying to yourself, I should have brought some water. So yeah, make sure you bring some water, because you could just find that there's nothing to actually, no water available in it. No doubt it will be something spectacular if there's actually been any rain. You find yourself on a road, off-road, which really actually just goes parallel with the stream. It's all level, easy peasy walking, and probably about another 3 kilometers or so before you're actually going to get to the hut. Still a little bit far to actually see the hut, but that will come in due course time. and all kinds of fynbos, which of course is only along the south coast of South Africa, and you will not find it anywhere else in the world whatsoever. All along the stream we go. Eventually we will be reaching our hut, which is our ultimate goal, and exactly when it was built, how it was built, I have absolutely no idea, and I have yet to actually meet somebody who can tell me exactly how it was built. That will still come in due course time, since we've probably got about another kilometer to go before we reach farmland, and then we will be meeting up with a hut. It was built with little rocks. I had never been there before, I've only been there once so far, and one will clearly see that it is a spot to take a couple of photos, chill out and have your lunch. And there is water available in a tank at the back. No doubt, take a couple of tablets just to make it safe, because it is not exactly running water. There are facilities available, all built with little rocks, which certainly tells me that it's got a bit of a history to it. And I would no doubt want to see when it was actually built, but there was no information available. Walk just a few hundred meters further and you're going to see a couple of pine trees that were cut. About the only pine trees on that side of the actual mountain. If you were to go alternatively another 3 kilometers further, you're going to be meeting up with the Outeniqua pass, and you could decide to actually walk back with the Outeniqua pass, or at least the Montague pass. No doubt you're going to be going back on this particular route with exactly the same way as you've come, which will lead you to a point where you're going to be looking up at the hill leading you to the top, and you shall say to yourself, well, if I've come down here, I better go up. Ultimately, you don't have a choice. You're going to have to go up and make use of the opportunity to have a look at all the rock formations from this side, since you will not be able to see them from the opposite side. Different kind of rock formations, different colors, and definitely worth a couple of photos. This is laugh walk for anybody who is in the younger generation and people that are fit. Even unfit people, relatively unfit people, can do it. And it's just a matter of extra time before they will be getting back up to the crest, where we have our viewpoint once again. It is worth mentioning that this is the point where you can actually see part of the Swartberg again, which you will not be able to see when you're on the Gorge side. And as one climbs all the way up towards the crest again, one will definitely take the opportunity to have a last look at the Swartberg mountain, which basically also runs parallel to the entire Outeniqua mountain range. Back to the trees we come, and farmlands, which will be on the interior side. From here we're going to turn left, and if you've got extra time, nothing stops you from climbing up that rock formation. I would hardly regard it as bouldering, but certainly worth a try. And anybody, we had a lot of time available when we did it, when we actually did the trail, and nevertheless, if it wasn't for a transport problem, no doubt I would have climbed out that rock formation there. And a last look at the Swartberg in the far hand side there, right at the horizon, is no doubt worth a last look. From here it's only one way, and that is down towards the interior side again, or towards the seaside, the very side that you came from. 2 uphills and downhills. Starting with the downhill, do make sure that you bring a jersey, especially in the winter, because whether you're heading down this way or heading up from this way on this side, it's definitely going to be fairly chilly, and that I can tell you from experience. You're going to get to another viewpoint, worth taking a couple of photos, memorable moments, and as you reach it, it's once again, after this little uphill, it's all the way down towards Outeniqua, where you will no doubt be saying to yourself that this was worth it. And of course you're back to civilization, where you've got all kinds of wires and poles, absolute contrast to where you've just been walking. Good news is that there's a lot of parking available and a fairly easy spot to actually find when you're on your way to start the walk and you need to find it. No doubt you'll be saying, I am going to do it again. I have done it. It works out at about 12 kilometers. Work that out in miles, that would be 1.6. Call that about divided by 1.6. A little bit less than that. But no doubt it is worth it. Taking photos, we reached the end towards about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and plenty of parking available. So yes guys, come and do it. If you ever get to South Africa, this is definitely worth it. Take your photos and enjoy the walk, enjoy the trail.